Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to my garden. It's planting time in the garden, in the ornamental garden as well as in the vegetable garden. But you see a really beautiful canna standing next to me, which means that today I'm going to take you with me into the ornamental garden. And whenever you see anything that looks a little bit exotic or vibrant in color, you exactly know where I'm going to take you in my garden. It is the terrace garden at the back of the property, because this is my fun area of the garden where I plant a lot of these tender plants, a lot of annuals, because every single year I like to mix things up a little bit. So how I want to structure today's video is, first of all, I want to tour you around and show you how this area looks, because in the meantime, a couple of things have happened there. Then I want to show you what kind of plants I want to put in the ground, because my dahlias are also going to find their way in the ground today. I've potted them up. They were sitting in the cold frames for the past couple of weeks, and now they look really fantastic. Then I want to plant a little bit together with you, and towards the end of the video, I hope that we can show you a really wonderful before and after. So I hope you're excited to join me in today's video. This is a terrace garden, which is at the back of a garden. So the upper garden is on top of a dike, and the back here used to be quite a steep slope, which was totally overgrown by old fruiting trees and old fruiting shrubs. Nothing was producing fruit anymore. A lot of weeds. It was really not a nice, pleasant sight to look at. And since all of this is southwest facing, it blocked a lot of the sun for the upper garden. So we just let down all of these trees. It opened up all the area. A lot of light came in. And what I did is, all by hand, by manual labor, is I leveled everything out. I built a support system, and to suppress weeds, I came in with this black landscape fabric, which obviously is horrible to look at. So last year I started to mantle with this really nice black stained wood, which is actually quite cheap fence sections that I cut into pieces, and then I just install them. So now I come in very professionally with my finger to show you. So last year I did this part here, and then in autumn I continued there, and now in the past week I did everything up here and also this part here. And I think it is really beautiful. It not only does it hide the ugly black landscape fabric, I think it is a wonderful backdrop. The black really makes all of the colors pop. Like, all the green looks lush. It looks so juicy, and the colors, you look at those tulips, almost yummy, like nice hard candy. I wish I could tell you what variety it is, but guess what? Those tulips, they were a free gift from the supplier last year, because I ordered so many tulips and I forgot what variety it was. And now I wish I knew, because I think they're fantastic. They're very long lasting. I love the color. I think they really make sense in this area too. They're kind of like pinkish, bluish, purplish. It's very hard to describe. Maybe it's kind of like a berry tone. I think this is the closest you can call it, but absolutely wonderful tulips. What else happened in this area is that I finally built stairs, so I can really walk in this area now, which is fantastic. So I came in and I bought some wooden planks that are actually for terraces, and I cut them into pieces. So the sides, they are made of wood, and I stain it black, and on the top there is plastic because of the weather conditions. It was so close to the Baltic Sea that anything that is wood gets attacked, unfortunately. So I thought, especially here, the stairs where water sits on, it's better to use a plastic to make sure that they last longer, these stairs. And you can tell that here on the top one, this is where everything is still wood, so I still have to stain it, and there's still a lot of work in progress here with trying to make all of this more beautiful, but baby steps, bit by bit. Still, I think this entire area is going to look really pretty. What I did too is I came in with more wooden planks and put it on top of the fence sections here to really finish it off. So I think it looks pretty nice, neat and clean. It's really beautiful to look at. Such a difference already when I enter this area now. And I kind of just want to stand at the bottom of a slope and look at it, because quintessentially it makes me very happy also sitting here on the top bench. Unfortunately, I ran out of these wooden planks, as you can tell. So here it stops. So I still have to go to the hardware store at one point and buy more of them. The areas that I want to focus on today are basically, so if I just swing around slowly now, I want to plant a little bit here. I want to plant a little bit up there next to the beautiful Ptunias in the back. Isn't the red foliage just great now in the sun of a noontide? Oh, love it. I might want to plant a little bit here too, next to this really wonderful clematis. So the clematis grows on a kind of arching trellis support system that I built with willow sticks or canes, and it really seems to love it. It's very vigorous this year. It produced already a lot of buds. Where's a bud? There's one here. Can you tell? So at one point, all of this will be hopefully smothered with really beautiful pale violet blooms. Can't wait to give you updates and show you. All the aquilida here, they're just about to come to bloom. Look at them. So beautiful. But what I want to plant is already sitting here in front of you. So I really have a nice variety of different colors in terms of bloom, but also a lot of foliage interest and texture, which I think is always very important. So the first thing that is going to grow into the ground are my dahlias. I potted all of them up, and then they sat really for a couple of weeks in my cold frames, and I think they seem to love it. So if I just take one out, there's a variety named Sam Hopkins, if you are intrigued. And I think they really produce wonderful, very sturdy little plants already. They're gonna have beautiful big blooms, dark red. I never grow them in my own garden, but I saw them in another garden and I always loved them. So this year I was like, okay, 9 plants, and I think that I will be very, very happy with those. They also make fantastic cut flowers, by the way. Then I have one of my favorites since last year, Panacetum Vertigo. They come with a label, so I can also show you these. Proven winner, so finally we have proven winner plants in Europe since last year. Absolutely love them. They don't grow to such massive beasts as they would in the southern states of the United States, but here they still come to really nice, big and sturdy plant. Like very wide, not so high necessarily, but I don't mind it, so they don't have to be that tall. A lot of petunias, as you can tell. So yes, I really have a thing for purple petunias. I kind of fell into the shop and I took them all, the entire plot, and the shop assistant looked at me and said, like, oh, you really enjoy purple petunias, don't you? And I was like, I do. So no label, unfortunately. With the rest of the plants that I show you now, there is no name. I can't really tell you. But those kind of petunias everybody can get, I think, in your local garden centre. Then the cannas I already showed you up there, but don't they look fantastic? My good, now when I look at them with a black backdrop here, I don't think they will go actually in the corner, but maybe I should get some more for myself and put them here. Look at that. Isn't that fantastic? What a leaf texture. What I love about them is that the leaves, they have this banana-esque kind of vibe. Very tropical, very zingy, and they tie back all the colors. They are green, they are kind of brown, burgundy, purple. They have all different colors inside. The only thing is, and I asked in the shop, what colors will the bloom be? Orange or red? And I don't know. So this is a little bit of a gamble, so I have no idea. I hope that they will be red, but chances are that I'm going to have a big bright pop of orange here, so I hope that I'm going to enjoy that. I've got more petunias. They are straight from the hardware store, from the garden center and the hardware store. Needed to have them. I have a thing for quirky little colors, and I think this definitely ticks the box. Purple in the center, and then this like creamy chartreuse color in the outside. Really pretty, aren't they? Oh, I think, again, really wonderful. 6 of them, this is all I could get. Sweet potato wine, this is a must in my garden since last year because of the color. Foliage accent is amazing. And I'm trying out something new. I think this is called Swedish ivy, if I'm not mistaken, as a common name. At least this is how I know it. It prefers to thrive in partly shade, so I want to grow it in between my dahlias. But what I thought it works really well is really nice, deep, rich green on the surface, but if you flip the leaves, they are purple underneath, kind of burgundy purple. So again, it ties back to my entire color concept for this area here. I think it looks fantastic. What I want to do now is take these plants, distribute them and put them where I want to put them in the ground, and after that, I'm going to plant a little bit together with you. I can already imagine how all of this is going to look later on in the year. Now just imagine comes August, September time, and all these plants have really bulged up, they're in full bloom in their glory like the dahlias. They really grow to nice big shrubs really, covering almost all of the black wood here. And in the front then you have these really beautiful purple petunias just like spilling over the edges here. And I'm really excited to see what to think of this Swedish ivy, because really this is a first for me. But planting it in between the dahlias and the petunias, I think that it will be kind of partly shade. And really, let's see. I'm going to keep you posted. I only have 4 plants. What's also nice is that I always try to place everything in bigger drifts or blobs. So I have like 4 dahlias here, same variety, 2 up there, 3 in the back there. So as you go and enter this area, your eye is naturally drawn along the color path that I have here, because it's all the same variety. There will be red up there, red here, red in my bag. Then the petunias do just the same effect. So there is a certain element of cohesion, and I think this always works. And when you have that, then you can always have your kind of like stellar, amazing, whatever focal point plants, whatever you want to call them. For example, the cannas, because they're so special. And if you really embed them in a certain element of cohesion and tranquility, I think then they really work, and they don't try to fight with all the other things. At least in my idea, this is how it's going to work. What I'm going to do now is start planting. And in order to make sure that you see what I'm planting here, I need to make some space first. So let's start in the back, obviously, because you always work your way from the back to the front. And the first thing that I want to put in the ground is a dahlia, because they are so beautiful. Fun thing is, when you start dahlias in pots, you can already see on these here, especially at the base of the plant, that the actual blooms will come through in a reddish tone, because the stems are already in a dark burgundy red. And a nice, beautiful side effect of starting dahlias off in pots like this is that you already know how big the plants are, how vigorous they are. And then you can make sure that in those areas where you really want to have nice, vigorous, good plants, you put those. Because if I take the actual tuber, it's not a bulb, it's a tuber, and put it in the ground, then it's a little bit of a gamble. You're not really sure what to expect or what you will get. So doing it like this definitely might be a little bit of an advantage. So scoop out a little bit of soil, and now I found a stone in here. Just a small one. Well, that's gonna go. What I do too is with dahlias, because you want to have a lot of bloom, so you need to give them some feed. And I always like to give plants some sort of organic feed, and I always love to feed the soil rather than the plant actually later on. So I prepare the soil. So what I do is I have some really nice aged horse manure, which is full of goodness for all of your plants in the garden. I mixed it with some fresh soil from the garden center, and now some scoops go in here. Not too much though, so just a little bit. Just mix it with the actual soil. I think this is going to do the job. And then what else I always do is I always come in with a good sprinkle of organic bone chips, because they break down to nitrogen, and then they will also feed your plant in the long run, maybe a little more. And then just take your plant, tip it over gently now. But you can see the roots are already coming out at the base. So I think that this is going to look really nice. Okay. Give it a good squeeze from the sides, and here it comes. Oh, isn't that looking fantastic? I mean, look at this amazing root system. It's not pot bound, it's just perfect. So in it goes into the planting hole, completely level to how it was here in its pot. That looks nice. Oh, so pretty. Look at that. I'm going to keep the pots because I wrote Sam Hopkins on them. So next year I can just use the same pots again for the same kind of dahlia. Now comes the mulch, and that's it. So the next thing, now I'm going to make it a little faster. So here, one of the Swedish ivies. I haven't loosened up the soil here. So here I'm only going to come in with some organic bone chips. Just give it a little bit of a squeeze. Tip it over, make sure it doesn't break, because it kind of feels brittle. Also a good root system here, really happy with those. Then again, dead level to how it was in its container, because this is how the plant grew very happily. And then in the front row, there go some petunias, but now I have to make sure that I put my dahlias back in position first, because otherwise, like that, yeah. Because otherwise I'm going to put my petunias somewhere now where they are not bound to go. So here I prepared the soil. This is nice and lofty. Again, just a little sprinkle of the organic bone chips. Let's see how the petunias look, because they are in this plastic thing and I haven't tipped them over in the garden center, because I thought there's no chance that I'm ever going to get them back. So, like this, that goes here. They already start, oh look at that. Nice. So you can already see how they want to grow. So they're already like starting to cover up the wooden planks here. This will be nice. Again, luckily a good root system. So like firm it in nicely. And that's it. Oh, isn't that just fantastic? What a lovely start for the area. So I'm going to plant my way through now. Hope that these some good advice and hints were also beneficial for you, especially with the dahlias. Because I think that the horse manure, this is going to be the magic trick to them. My grandma always did it. In the past 2 years, I didn't do it. And I think that this year they will be better. So I'm going to plant, and then I can show you the final result. It's always so wonderful to see how the borders start to fill in, especially when you have areas like this here where you really change your maybe color palette or planting scheme every single year. And even now, as I was planting my way through, I changed something a little bit. I'm going to show you in a moment. There is not too much color yet. I mean, the tulips are definitely striking the tulips with the leaves of the canna in the back. Aren't they just an amazing combination? I was like, oh my, what a lovely coincidence. And seeing that, I had a moment where I was like, oh my, I hope I bought the right petunias. Maybe petunias in the color of the tulip would have been really lovely. But to be fair, I think I've never seen petunias in that color. And I know that later on in the year, I have catmint there, I have asters. So a lot more of these like blue shades are going to fill in. So the tulips, they're there for now, and then that is it. But you can tell how much color is on its way here. My bearded iris, they look so gorgeous, don't they? And you can already see, even before the blooms are going to open, what color you can expect. This is going to be almost black, very dark, very mysterious. And then in the back, sneaky. Something that I didn't plant here, or at least I can't remember planting it here. This must be Bearded Iris English Cottage. This is one that is white and with a little bit of a blue in it. I'm so distracted now in the back by the black landscape fabric. What a contrast when I show you this here and I go like, oh, it looks so nice, also with a mulch. And then in the back there, and you go like, oh my, but this is going to change. This is definitely my next project for this area here. So up front, there's some sweet potato vine. And I think I might plant something still in the back at one point, but I'm not quite sure what I'm going to plant. Up there, there is a nice big drift of petunias in the back, 2 dahlias. And then down here, one more dahlia. That is the smallest one that I had. I thought, you know what, let's see what comes out of it. Maybe it loves it, maybe it doesn't, but at least it found its way into the ground and I can see how it is going to perform. One thing that I changed happened here. You might see me planting more of the petunias here in the front, but then what I did is, as I planted my way through, there was a gap here. Initially, in my planting scheme, I wanted to put some salvias here, but then when I looked at it from a distance, I thought maybe it's too many plants. Maybe I really just want to have this nice impact from the Panacetum vertigo, because last year they worked so well and I just love the texture, I love the color of those. And I thought if I just step back a little bit, it might be a little awkward if in the front of the border, okay, don't trample on everything now, if in the front of a border I have dahlias, which are going to come to bloom, and then in front I will have the petunias, which are going to bloom, and then in the back I have the Panacetum, which not going to bloom, and in front of it I will have the dark sweet potato vine, which also not going to bloom. So I quickly changed it and I took the 3 sweet potato vine. They're now here in the front with the dahlias in the back with the Swedish ivy, and then the petunias, they are more towards the back, and I think that they will definitely look really nice in combination with the Panacetum vertigo. So here I already showed you, this is where the really beautiful cannas went, and I love them. Even though if they might come to bloom in orange, I wouldn't be mad at it. I think that would be one of these like quirky accidents, which might actually be fun. What is going to look nice too, and this is something that I made a decision to leave, is that here all of these are phlox, which are going to be white, and they all self-seeded. So actually an accident, but still I think in combination with the cannas it will be nice. Maybe I'm going to put more cannas here. This is still like my thinking process, but also look at this tulip silver cloud in between these beautiful peonies. Isn't that just a really lovely combination? As I was planting here, I had a straight view on it and I thought, oh, I love her. They're so cute. Can't wait for those peonies to open. They will be pink too. But that's it. This is my little planting for today, and I think that this area is definitely going to be filled very soon with a lot of color and more plants. So definitely going to give you updates on everything which is going to happen here. That's it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed spending some time here with me in my terrace garden, and that you could take some inspiration or maybe even some hints or good advice for your own garden out of today's video. I honestly can't wait to show you updates of this entire area, how it is going to progress throughout the entire year, especially with these dahlias and when the petunias and the grass, when everything starts to fill in the gaps. And speaking of gaps, there's still quite a lot of gaps here on this slope, especially the next terrace just down here is an entire blank canvas at this point. And I really have an idea and I have a plan on what I want to plant there with you, but most of the plants that go there are still that small because I grew them from seed, which means it's way too early to put them into the ground. So I think this is going to take at least another 3 to 4 weeks probably. But in the meantime, there are a lot of jobs that I have to do also in the vegetable garden. So definitely my next video is going to happen there. So hope you are excited to see that too. All I can say now is thank you so much for watching today's video. Thank you if you decide to subscribe to my channel, if you give me a thumbs up, and I would honestly love to welcome you next time around in my garden. Take care, guys. Bye.